Most people never change, not because they are lazy, not because they are stupid, but because they are waiting for the wrong thing to change first. They are waiting for their life to get better before they decide to become better. And that one belief is costing them everything. Two people can experience the exact same event and walk away with completely different realities, not because they experienced different things, but because they were looking through different lenses. One person loses their job and sees proof that the world is unfair. Another person loses the same job and sees the push they needed to finally start something of their own. Same event, completely different outcomes. The difference was never the situation. The difference was always the lens. And here's what nobody tells you. The lens you are using right now was not chosen by you. It was given to you by the environment you grew up in, by the people around you, by every experience that shaped you before you were old enough to question any of it. And if you have never stopped to examine that lens, you are living someone else's version of what is possible for you. When you were a child, your brain was absorbing everything, not just facts about the world, but beliefs about who you are and what you are capable of. If you grew up in an environment where failure was treated as part of learning, your brain developed one kind of lens. If you grew up where failure felt dangerous, where being wrong felt shameful, where taking risks was discouraged, your brain developed a very different lens, one designed not to help you grow, but to help you stay safe. And here is the problem. Those beliefs made sense back then. They protected you, but most people carry those same beliefs into adulthood without ever asking, are these still true? Are they even true at all? And those old beliefs, formed by a child trying to make sense of the world, end up shaping the decisions of an adult in ways that have nothing to do with reality. A psychologist named Carol Dweck spent decades studying one question: why do some people grow through challenges while others collapse under them? And what she found changed everything. The answer was not intelligence. It was not talent. It was not family background. It was mindset. A person with a fixed mindset believes their abilities are set, that they were born with a certain amount of potential, and that amount cannot change much. So every challenge becomes a test of their fixed abilities. Every failure becomes proof of their limitations. Every person who outperforms them becomes a threat. A person with a growth mindset believes something completely different. They believe that intelligence and skill can be developed, that effort and learning actually change what you are capable of. So challenges become interesting instead of threatening. Failure becomes useful instead of shameful. Other people's success becomes evidence of what is possible instead of a reminder of what they lack. The mindset came first. The results followed. So how do you actually change this? Not just understand it intellectually, but actually change the lens through which you see your life. The answer starts with a single question. Most people, when something goes wrong, ask, why does this always happen to me? What is wrong with me? Why can I never get this right? And those questions feel like attempts to understand, but they are actually instructions to your brain to search for evidence that you are broken. And your brain will find exactly what you tell it to look for. So instead, ask different questions. What can I learn from this? What would I do differently next time? What does this tell me about what I need to develop? Same situation, completely different instructions to your brain, completely different answers, completely different direction. The question you ask determines the life you build. Here's the part most people never talk about. Most people try to change their behavior first and hope their identity will follow. They try to exercise and hope they will eventually feel like an athletic person. They try to save money and hope they will eventually feel like someone who is good with finances. They try to work on their goals and hope they will eventually feel like someone who achieves things. And it never sticks, not because they lack willpower, but because they are asking their behavior to exist in contradiction to their identity. And identity almost always wins. The more effective approach is to start with identity. Not what do I need to do, but who do I need to become? Every small action that is consistent with your new identity is a vote for that identity. One vote today, one vote tomorrow, one vote the day after. And slowly, the story you tell yourself about who you are starts to change. Not because you feel different first, but because you acted differently first. So here is where this lands. The mindset shift that changes everything is not a single dramatic moment. It is a daily practice of choosing a different lens, of asking different questions, of making small decisions that belong to the person you are becoming, not the person you have been. It will be uncomfortable at first. The old pattern will come back. It will feel more familiar and more certain than the new one. But here is what is also true. The lens through which you see your life is not fixed. It was shaped by your environment and your experiences, which means it can be reshaped by new choices starting today. The world is not going to change first so you can feel safe enough to change. You are going to have to change first, and then the world you experience will begin to look different. Not because the world changed, but because you are finally seeing it through a different lens. Subscribe to Level 1, because every week we go deep on the ideas that actually move the needle. See you in the next one.